As a horse rescue, unfortunately, adoption placements don't always work out for the long term. And it's important for the adopters to know that they can always come back to us should any of their situations change, which is exactly what happened. We do our best to find lasting placements through our adoption process, which includes reference checks, home checks, and in person interviews with the adopter and the horses. But sometimes situations just change. So today we're here to pick up Jian and Phoenix. These girls were adopted out in January to a loving local home. And unfortunately, their family situation has changed and they were no longer able to keep them. We are so thankful they reached back out to us, as per their contract, to take them back in. So these girls are returning to the rescue, and Gian, who's loading in the trailer right now, is a 24-year-old Mustang. And there's also Phoenix, who is potentially her baby, and Phoenix is around 16 years old and appears to be crossed with a quarter horse. But they're both very sweet and very loving. And so we got them loaded up and we headed home, and they rode really well, and we're happy to bring them back in. They both are lovely to be around. Everyone new was very excited to meet them, and they got a lot of welcome homes from all the other horses. Of course, Gian had to grab a bite to eat before they headed to their pen. And they just kind of settled right in. They weren't really too worried about anything, and they were just ready to be home and ready to eat some food. They didn't really mind. They're both in really good condition. You can tell that their home loved them and cared for them very well. And they settled right back in and remembered everyone at the rescue. These girls were originally seized by law enforcement in early 2022. And there were 4 horses and 1 mini, and one of the horses unfortunately didn't make it. But we took in 3 horses, so they were actually seized with Chakora. And Gian unfortunately had an eye that had rotted out, likely from an ulcer, and had to have it removed. But she came along really quickly. We started working with her under saddle once she was healthy again, and she came along really quickly. She was very willing, very fun to ride, and she had a pretty good time as well. They enjoyed playing with the other horses. But it took some time to get her used to riding while only being able to see out of one eye. And so Brittany spent a lot of time just working with her and helping her gain her balance again. It can be really hard for horses who have been starved to kind of regain that sense of balance. Phoenix was a little bit rougher shape. Her feet hadn't been done in a long time, and her training was much more lacking. So we had to start from a bit more of the beginning with her. She was really pushy. It took a while for her to kind of start to try to understand people and what we wanted. She was pretty thin and had a fungal infection on her skin. Her tail was pretty much just one big mat. And she had a lot of chiropractic care. Horses' teeth also grow until they're about 20. And a lot of times you have to have them floated so that they grow evenly. And one of Phoenix's had grown so long, you can kind of see it right there. Her top one had grown so long it was digging into the bottom jaw for a long time. But once we got all that fixed, and she got a lot of chiropractic care to help her with her hind end stuff, and she really started coming around. This was her first few rides, and when she was comfortable in the halter and responsive in the halter, we moved her to the bit, the snaffle bit, and she started really trying to understand. And once she progressed a little bit more and was more comfortable with us on her back, we started taking her out on the trail. And this was working towards fall of 2022. So we started doing a bunch of trail rides with her, because trail rides can be one of the best ways for them to gain muscle and balance. And especially with a starved horse, that's really important to help them naturally build that muscle back. And so with natural hills and different obstacles for them to go over, it can really help them the best, better than anything we can create in the arena. It can help them build those muscles, and it can be really fun for them too. So they enjoy getting out and running with their friends, and we try to make it so they have a good time. They also get used to going in the trailer and doing different things. Once it got too cold to keep doing the trails, we started working in the indoor arena, and you can tell that her balance has just improved so much, and her responsiveness. And she really started becoming a nice little riding mare. And we were helping her build her confidence in herself, and she started to be really pretty happy about being ridden and enjoy coming out and what we were doing, and started getting more comfortable with like obstacles. And we tried to kind of give them an all-around education for them to be adopted. So they were adopted out in January of 2023. They were seized in 2022 and adopted out this January. So they were with their adopters for several months, and when they got back, Chakora was very excited to see them. And since they all three were seized by the sheriff together, that was kind of a reunion, which Chakora was very excited about. Jian and Phoenix were just kind of casual about it, but we wanted to let them meet each other again and spend some time together. Horses have really good memories, so there's no doubt that they don't remember each other. The meeting didn't go quite as planned. A lot of times when we get in horses that come in together, people want us to keep them together, but a lot of times they're just as happy with other horses, and it can be really difficult to adopt out a horse as a pair. So we do our best to kind of help them make new friends. And here Gian was making friends with Canary, her old buddy, so she remembers her. Canary's been here since Gian left. But they kind of warmed up and started running around together and having fun. You could tell they were excited to get a chance to move out with their buds. Here's Phoenix. These girls are both really friendly, and they're still in really good shape, so we have no doubt that they'll be ready to find another home soon. And because we put so much time into them. There's Gian's brand. She is a BLM Mustang, but because we put so much time into them, we kind of wanted to see where their training was still at, and Phoenix was still, right there. She remembered everything we worked on, and that was really cool. But, she was still nice and soft and understanding and willing. It's really nice that we don't have to start there. We can keep her going where she left off. When she came, she had a really hard time moving her forequarters and her hindquarters independently, mostly because she was just so stiff and had no balance. So it was really nice to see that she's still so soft and supple and willing to take part. We wanted to check. They're both due for a hoof trim, so we wanted to check how they were with their feet, make sure they were had good manners about it. The farrier's coming out next week, so we'll get them on the list and they'll get trimmed. It was really nice to see them again. And we put a lot of time into each horse and really connect with them, so it's kind of bittersweet that they had to come back, but if we focus on the positives, it's good to be with them again. Brittany missed Gian a lot. They really connected, and so when she was sure that Gian was settled in back at the rescue, she just kind of hopped on and went for a short ride with a halter and a lead rope bareback. And Gian was the same old girl, so I think that after a quick hoof trim and a quick tune-up, these girls will be ready to find their new homes again.